Welcome to the NVR show. Thank you all for joining me. Virtual hugs. I'm sending your way lots of love during this time. I know it can be such a difficult time for so many of us, but we have to again focus on what's good in our life. I'm a big advocate for the positive, right? Focusing on what's positive, thinking about positive thoughts, because truthfully, our thoughts have the ability to dictate our reality. Our thoughts can decide how we feel when we wake up, how we start our day, how we end our day. What are we focusing on? What do we want to see show up in our lives? So, for me, a big part of what I talk about is creating that vision, that big, grandiose vision. And then it's creating those goals. Well, if I want X, Y, Z, what are those goals? Be specific. I talk a lot about SMART goals, right? Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, timely, and then more importantly, strategy. Let's take action on what we want to see show up in our lives and our business. So officially, welcome to the NBR show. I'm your host, Natasha B. Russell, aka NBR. And what do I do? For those of you who are watching for the first time or who will watch later on, welcome, Boss King. Yes, Boss Queens. For those of you who will watch later on, my name is Natasha B. Russell, as I mentioned, and I'm the founder and CEO of NBR Strategic Solutions. And what do we do? Who can tell me? So we offer coaching, speaking, and consulting services to help you achieve your goals and your dreams. Yes, your dreams too. That in a nutshell. So a little breakdown on the consulting end. I have a great team of experts who help you build out your brand, your website, your graphics, whatever that might look like. I focus mainly on strategy. Again, you can consider me like a strategist, business and life strategist, because we need the plan, right? What does the plan give you? It gives you clarity. It's that roadmap to your success. So we got the consulting end of the business, and then I do coaching and speaking. So on the coaching end, one-on-one coaching, private with me. I'm also excited to announce that in the new year, stay tuned, I will be offering group coaching for women, the queens out there, and for men too. Yes, I haven't forgotten about you. So the coaching, stay tuned. More information will be coming around about that very soon. And it will be a chance for you to come in as a group. And I'm saying men in one group and women in one group. I want to keep you not distracted, you know what I mean? And we'll be doing coaching around your business, your life, because life plays a role in your business. How you do one thing is how you do everything. I strongly believe that. So one-on-one coaching with me, I focus on mindset heavily. Your thoughts, again, are so powerful. What are you thinking day in, day out? Do you think you're going to win? If you think you're going to win, you'll be winning. If you think you're going to fail, unfortunately, you'll be failing. All right. So confidence communications is critical to your success. Yes. The ability to believe in yourself, the ability to believe that you can have what you want. So I focus heavily on that. And then again, strategy. We create that strategy to achieve your desired outcome. And then last but not least, I host events to empower men and women, usually again, entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs, to believe in what you want. And then to say, hey, how can we achieve it? Again, strategy. So that's a big part of what I do. And then I also host the show. As you know, you're all here. Every Monday at 5:30 p.m. You can tune in at Mountain Time, wherever you may be. And we talk with entrepreneurs from all walks of life, because I do believe in the power of collaboration. I do believe that we can learn from each other. And I'm really excited for my guest today, Io. I hope I pronounced your name, Olajide. You can correct me when you come on if I'm wrong. And he is a successful entrepreneur. He is a custom home builder. His bio is extensive. So if I were to read it all, I might take 5 minutes, and I'm going to allow him to share what he does. But he is the co-founder of, let me just read a little bit of his bio. Let's do some justice here. All right. Before I read the bio, loving it. Love it. Yes. Let's think about what's one thing you're grateful for today. What's one thing you're grateful for today? I would love to hear. Put it in the comment section and tell me where you're from. Again, I'm from Canada. I live in Calgary, Alberta. Anybody ever been? I know our guest today is from Calgary as well. I don't know if he was born here, but he does reside here. And put it in the comment section. All right. And if you have questions as we start the show, we're chatting, feel free to send them in the Q&A section or put them in the comment section, because at the end of the day, I want you to gain value. I do this show because why? It's a part of fulfilling my purpose, to inspire, to motivate, to empower men, women, youth, including me, all over the world, to believe in ourselves, our God-given purpose, to take action on what we want, to live our lives with purpose, confidence, and clarity. Confidence, yes, I'm going to say it again, and clarity, okay? So Io. Let's hear a little bit about Io. Io Olajide is an expert in managing fast-paced, high-growth companies. Io holds a management degree with majors in information systems, human resources, and labor relations from the University of Lethbridge. He's also a professional accountant, I didn't know that, and entrepreneur, very successful one at that. Io is a relentless achiever who always sets high standards for himself and people around him. Throughout his career, Io has played key roles at companies that have created millions of dollars in revenue. Between 2007 and 2015, he served in various management roles for Shell Canada exploration operations, as well as Shell's downstream operations business. To date, Io has founded and invested in 5 venture businesses, employing over 50 people who work hard daily to create value for his customers, right? When we go into business, people, I always want to reiterate this. We don't go into business just to make money. No, we go into business, as I call it, to fulfill your purpose, and a result, you're serving clients, and then your reward is compensation. Yes, money, right? So find what you love and do it with purpose. Do it with confidence. Do it with intention, with clarity. Don't go into business to say, hey, I just want to make some money. Go into business to say, what problem can I solve using my talents, my skills, my abilities, and you'll always be successful. You'll always be winning. And when you feel like giving up, because it's a huge deal when you're a full-time entrepreneur like myself, you got to be self-motivated. Sometimes we're looking around for people to motivate us. You have to be self-motivated, all right? Yes. I'm grateful for you too. Thank you, Boss Queen. Thank you, Boss King. All right, so let's continue. So where were we? He is the co-founder and CEO of Sue Generis Homes, a custom home builder that specializes in building unique and beautiful homes that are a masterpiece in style and craftsmanship, which was established in 2017. All right. Am I saying that right? Sue Generis is one of Canada's fastest growing home building companies. And so in that time, Io raised a significant startup capital, hired world-class management team, artisans and craft people who continue to design and build some of Alberta's most elegant and sophisticated homes. All right. And there is still more to read. I'm going to allow Io to share some of that with you all. But can you tell this man has been working hard? And I love having entrepreneurs on my show that are passionate about what they do. So let's look for the man of the hour. Oh, sorry, people. You can send me a request, Io. For those of you who are sending me a request to go live with me, I have to decline. I do apologize, but I don't bring on people on my show without having that, that due diligence before. And this is a show where I'm bringing on Io today. So thank you so much for your invitation. And Io, feel free to send me yours or let me look for you and ask. Yes, there we go. Send your request right now. So who's happy? Who's ready for Christmas? I am. I'm grateful for my family. Hey!
How's it going today?
How are you?
Good. Yourself?
I'm great. I see it's now snowing outside. I'm just like, geez.
I
But
know. It just been like 5 minutes ago.
right? I'm not gonna complain though because we've been having very good weather. So you know what? Let's be
True,
grateful. It's Christmas almost. We should be getting a little bit of snow, right?
true. Fair enough. I mean, this shows we got a white Christmas, so
Yes, and you know what? That's one of my favorite songs, White Christmas. I'm
that's it.
dreaming of a white Christmas.
There you go.
You
There
got
you
it.
go. So here you go. You got all the snow.
Pardon?
Ah, so you ordered the snow.
Yes, I did. I did. My daughter did too. So forgive me, people who are in Calgary. We have to have a little bit of snow around Christmas. As long
Fair
as it's
enough.
not too much and we're not in a deep freeze, it's still nice weather. So
That's
welcome,
right.
Io. I'm so excited. I just read your bio. I didn't finish all of it. Extensive. Great credentials. You've been doing so many great things in the community, your business. You are definitely the definition of a successful boss king. And I'm so excited to have you on the show today. So why don't you tell the audience who's watching and will be watching, who are you? That's my famous question. Who's Io?
Who am I? Who am I? Well, first of all, thanks for having me tonight. It's really great to be on your show, and thanks for all you're doing within our community to inspire and motivate folks. So I mean, it's great to have someone like you around. So thanks for all you do,
Thank you.
and thanks for having me today. Well, I am someone that wears several hats, really, and sometimes that's not the easiest question to answer when you say, "Who am I?" Not because I don't know who I am, but I sometimes kind of wonder, what do I say first? So I wear many hats in the sense that I'm a musician, I'm an artist, um, I'm a minister of the gospel.
I didn't know that.
Um, I caught you by surprise there,
Yeah.
yeah. What else? I mean, I run several different organizations, and so I'm into music. I'm into construction. I'm into childcare. I got a finance background. So those are pieces of who I am. So,
Just pieces, that's for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, so that's a little bit about who I am. But basically, I am an entrepreneur, passionate about entrepreneuring, passionate about what I do, building houses, and yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Wow. Wow. I didn't know that you were also a musician and a minister. So, I'm going to ask you, want to bless us with a little bit of a song today, or is that too much to put you on the spot?
That's not too much. Let me know what you want me to sing. I'll go for
Get any
it.
requests out there, people? You must have a favorite song that you enjoy singing, Io. Is there one that you're always sort of humming or singing? One of your top threes? How about you just choose one for us? And you don't have to sing the whole one, maybe just the chorus. Just give it a little feel, for your musicianship.
Okay. Rivers in the desert, water in the dry lands. Oh, yeah. I see you making a way for me. Rivers in the desert, waters in the dry lands. I see you making a way for me.
Wow, I am so impressed. And wow, the words of that song, Making a Way, right? How many of us are in this feeling of, depending on where we are with COVID, and all the things are happening, people have lost their jobs, some people are feeling so hopeless, but there's
That's
always a
right.
way. God will make a
That's
way.
right.
So thank you,
That's
Ayo. Okay, so what church do you minister at? I'm sure people in Calgary want to come out.
right.
Where are you? Where can they find you?
Our CCG House of David, Calgary.
Okay, what area of the city is that?
Calgary. It's in the northeast actually. It's up there for off 68.
Okay, so what are you guys doing? All Zoom or not Zoom? I mean, YouTube lives, or how is your congregation? A
Right.
lot of.
So these days we're on YouTube Live. Right. Every Sunday we're on YouTube Live just because of COVID. So yeah.
Oh my
Good
gosh, I'm
to,
so impressed, and
good
you're
way to
getting a lot
find
of
your
love. Yes. Did you write
friends.
that song? You have a question. Did you write that song you just sang?
Yes.
Did
Yes.
you? So you're a
The title
songwriter
of that,
too.
the title of that song is Making a Way.
So that is. So you're a songwriter as well then.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What do you not do, Ayo? What do you not do?
There's many things I don't do. There's many things I don't do.
Wow. Okay. Well, Boss Queens and Kings, as we're chatting, feel free to ask questions. Facebook over here. Feel free to join me on Instagram if you want, or send your questions here, and I'll have Io answer them as we go through. So tell me something fun about yourself. You shared a lot, but when you're not working, what do you do for fun?
Well, when I'm not working, I try to get into music, and when I'm not doing music, I try to make sure I spend time with the family because I do have a very busy life. So
Yeah.
I'm very much caught up between work, church stuff, music, and family. That's you'll find me in one of those four circles easily.
Okay. Awesome. So, is there a funny fact I like to ask that maybe your family and friends don't even know about you that you want to share?
Funny fact, maybe crazy fact.
Ooh.
And I say crazy fact because as much as this journey of this entrepreneur journey has been very interesting with ups and downs and challenges, and uh, I think I'm crazy sometimes because I still want to start new stuff. I want to start new businesses, and I'm going, well, when is it going to be enough? And you can tell. I mean, the motivation is not money. It's just a drive to kind of do something to make impact. Do something different. Create jobs, have value. And so that drive just keeps going, and I keep going. Well, maybe I should be slowing down now, but I think it's crazy that I don't see myself slowing down. But when I look at what I'm doing, I'm going, I think I have enough on my plate.
Right?
but that doesn't stop me from going after more. so
I
I
can
think I'm crazy that way.
I can relate. I believe when we're purpose driven, there's so many things that we want to do, right? And it's learning to say yes, but no sometimes, and being, cognizant of what's already on our plate. You know what I mean? Because there are
That's
a lot of
right.
things. And even as COVID happened, people said, you probably slowed down a bit. I'm like, Natasha, no. I feel like I supercharged during COVID, right? Like I was still thinking, creating, working even more than I probably was before COVID, because now I believe it's a time to create. And as we're sitting
That's
at
right.
home, right, there's so many opportunities out there. So for me too, I can relate. I'm like, oh, I want to start this. I got to do this. And it's like,
That's right.
OMG, that you can quickly feel overwhelmed. I remind myself, Natasha, one day at a time. Okay, what do you need to do today? And what's critical? And then we can work on the other things. So I'm glad that you said that, because I feel a lot of entrepreneurs can relate to that when they're in the midst of running their business and they're creating new and they want to do so much more. It's
Mm-hmm.
reminding yourself that you still need that work-life balance and you still need time for self. I'm a big
That's right.
advocate for self-care. And I say
That's
this, it
right.
might sound selfish, but it's really not. If you don't take care of yourself, how can you take care of others, your employees, your family, your loved ones, right? So
That's right.
knowing when to
That's
slow
right.
down a bit and say, you know what, I can take a break. I can pause for a minute. I can breathe because I
That's
still have
right.
time to create. So
That's right.
you started your business in 2017, your construction company. Tell me about, and the audience, about the process. Like, where did the idea come from? Like, where were you before? I know you're working in oil and gas. And what was it that said, hey, now's the time to build? Call to build, as I themed the topic
Right.
today.
So I actually started Sweeteners in 2017, but started Platinum Heritage Construction in 2014. And at the time, I worked for Shell, Shell Canada in Calgary.
Yeah.
Um, so I started that as a part-time gig, and it just took off very quickly. It took off really quickly. And then in 2015, I started to think about leaving Shell Canada just to focus on growing the business I started because it was doing so well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and besides that, I wanted a kind of life for myself. I really wanted flexibility. I didn't want to be tied to a job just because, I saw myself really traveling around doing music and stuff like that. So I figured, this will be tough to juggle, keep a business, keep a job, and keep a music ministry. So I started to think about it, but it was a struggle, like, I mean, it was a good job. I was doing well at the job. I'd just been promoted. I was looking after all of Shaw Canada's sales operations across Canada, and I just looked like everything was good.
Mm-hmm.
And at work, my bosses were already, telling me, this is what your career path would look like in the 5 years. Get ready to go to Houston, and that's, all sorts of exciting stuff like that. But then deep within me, I knew that I needed to kind of just veer off and do my own thing, right? And so prayerfully, I made that decision in July 2015. And I just thought to myself, I think it's time to move on. And I made that call, and it's the best thing ever, you know.
Right?
Right. So I got more into Platinum Heritage doing commercial construction at the time. And so fast forward to 2017, I decided to set up another division to just focus on new homes because Platinum Heritage Construction was just doing the renovations, remodeling. We started from doing basement development and the likes of it, and then we moved on to doing commercial construction. So we started building clinics, pharmacies, and then 2017 we had the opportunity to get into building new homes. And one of my mentors really inspired this. We took on a project to build on a brand new house as a first flip. And one thing my mentor told me at the time, he said your dream spot in this industry, Io, is to really get into a position where you own land positions in a community and you're not taking as much risk, designing something, building it, and waiting for somebody to buy it. Because what if you just have to move? And if
Mm-hmm.
you're really building and flipping, it says, it's the surprises that really kill you in that business because you really don't know what you're up against when you're renovating, right? Until you open up the walls, right?
Yeah.
So it really got me thinking. So you said, the ideal spot, because he's been a builder for 30 years,
Oh, okay.
he's a luxury homes builder. So he said to me, he said, you really want to find yourself in a spot where you own lots, you have a show home, and you're selling out of your show home. He says, that's your best sweet spot. 3 months, fast forward 3 months, an opportunity comes around, to get into that spot. But then, I figured that wasn't for us. And then another 6 months down the road, we had the opportunity that we have right now, which is, building new homes in Chestermere, and so we took that, and that's just been, growing ever since. But one big lesson I want to really highlight in this little story is that the place of mentorship. What I found is just having someone give me a heads up that this was ideal, and was the way to go in the industry. Helped me to identify what I needed to focus on and what I needed to look for in terms of opportunity. And when it came, it was very easy to recognize it because I started to keep my eye out for it already. And when it came, I really appreciated and valued it right because I had been told what that really meant. By somebody who had been in the space for 30 years. So that's my journey from having to leave Shell because I wanted to where we're at right now.
And there's a couple of things I want to point on that is the mentorship, right? That is so important. Like I think some people undervalue having a right mentor or coach in your circle who can, who's been there in that area and can lead you and guide you. And I believe we all need that. So if you don't have a mentor or a coach, let's chat. But I do believe that's so important in your success, especially on that entrepreneurship journey. And then you noted that when you left Shell, like I know when I left corporate, I left Fortis, people were like, oh, who stole you, Natasha? Where are you going? I was like, no, I'm going to start my own company. Did you get those questions too when you're leaving? Like, where are you going?
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did. I remember I called my pastor up and said, hey, I'm looking to leave Shell, and he goes, did you talk to your wife about this? I says, yeah. And what did she say? I says, she's up for it.
Yeah.
And I had friends who were telling me, where else would you go from here? Like you got the dream job, like you're set, you're set, and some of those people today, I look back, unfortunately, they don't even have jobs today, unfortunately.
No.
These are people that were colleagues at the time that said, where would you go from here? And I were like, are you sure you're not being overzealous? Are you sure you're not being, overdriven? And they just saw Shell as ultimate, right, at the time.
Yeah.
And I look back today, I mean, and I just all I can say is thank God because 8 out of 10 people that I left there don't have jobs there anymore because the economy has just gotten worse and worse since then. We thought it was bad when I left, but it's just gotten worse.
Yeah,
So
we were going through a
really,
recession then. We still are going through a recession in my
exactly.
opinion. But yeah, definitely. And that's the thing is like I think for me, like my family, like my parents were really concerned. Like, why would you leave? You have it made. You got your pension, you got your benefits, nice salary, everything that you've been working so hard for. You have it here. Why would you leave? And I said, because this is not fulfilling my purpose. And I see something greater. The vision is greater than just here. And I think sometimes people don't understand that. And that's okay because not everybody's built to be an entrepreneur. We know that there's challenges, a lot of successes, but there are, challenges too. So you have to be what I say self-motivated because nobody's going to motivate you. Essentially, you got to be the driver of the ship. So I can relate in that. And a lot of people who they're still doing the same job that what I left them with. And you know what? I'm like, that's okay because some people enjoy that every day, that comfort zone, or this is what they want to do and they want to do that for 30 years. And I'm like, I commend you. That's just not my personality. But whatever you do, people out there, make sure you love what you do at the end of the day. Make sure that when you're going to sleep and you wake up to go to that 9 to 5 or your business, that you're actually enjoying the process because we don't like to talk about this, Isle, but every day is one less day we're here on this earth. So make it count. Make it count, right? So tell me a little bit, who inspires you or what inspires you to do what you do every day?
Interesting. What inspires me? It's really, the fact that we're creating opportunities for people. I come here to work and it's not just about me. I look at all the many lives we're touching from clients to jobs that we're creating and families that are getting blessed from, an establishment that, I've created. That really makes me feel a huge sense of responsibility and fulfillment at the same time. Beyond the responsibility that I would take on from a job, which would be limited to tasks or roles, liability or responsibility that comes with a role. But in this case, it's more, you're talking about lives. It feels more like, the decisions we make, the strategy we execute really has impact on lives. So for me, that really keeps me going. To see how many people, we're opportunity to be, providing jobs for and blessing from full-time employees subcontractors, that consistently benefit from the opportunities that, our business creates for them. I just think that's, you can't put a price to that,
You you can, and I can relate because I said I went from saving energy, helping people save energy, to help saving lives.
That's
And it's such
right.
a great feeling when I'm like, I'm working with a client and seeing them grow, seeing the success. Like when my clients win, I
Absolutely.
win. And even if you're not my client out there, whatever, when you're winning,
Absolutely.
I'm winning. I honestly want each and every one of us to find our purpose and be
That's right.
successful doing what we love. And just to
That's
have
right.
that mindset, I appreciate it. I wish we all had that mindset to want to
Yeah.
see people grow, bless others, and to
Hmm.
spread that love because there's so much hate
Absolutely.
in this world. And honestly, I don't
Absolutely.
watch too much news because it's too depressing. So my mom will literally call me every day and tell me what the highlights are and what I need to be, abreast of it. And I do my little 10-minute scam. But in this world, we need more people that are leaders and are doing great things for our community and are helping people build success in their lives. So I appreciate that,
Absolutely.
Io. Really, I do. And so let's talk about entrepreneurship because a lot of times I think
Mhm.
people see, the glitz and the glam, the beauty of it all, but they don't see what happens behind the scenes. They don't see when you're starting up, and all those things that go in, the hard work, the long nights, so you can get to
Right.
a point where you can balance it out. So why don't you share some of the challenges that you've experienced when you were starting this business?
Okay. Well, I wish I could only tell you about the ones that I experienced, as I was starting. I think I'm experiencing more now than I did before.
I know, right? I can relate, right? But the purpose, the joy keeps you going. So tell me maybe
That's
just
right.
one or two that you think would be relevant to people that are out there who are thinking of starting their own business, who have their own business. What would you say maybe what was your major, I know there might be a lot,
Mhm.
but one or two major challenges that you faced and how did you overcome it?
Okay, so for us right now, it's really been, scaling, right? I mean, we've gone past what you would call a small business, right, to what you would call a mid-sized business,
Mm-hmm.
and and so we are on a journey right now where it only makes sense to start to scale to stay profitable.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we're in a position where we have access to over 50 lots at any given time.
Mm-hmm.
The nature of the business is that you got to put a deposit of say 20% or 25% on each lot. And say a lot is $250,000. So you put $50,000 on a lot as a deposit. And then a developer would typically say you need to do a minimum of 15 or a minimum of 20, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lots. And so here you go, you dole out that much money in deposits, right? So you have $1 million, it's nothing in construction, right?
Yeah.
Because there you go.
Like that. $1 billion like that. Woo.
In deposits.
Yeah.
And then a year after, whether you've sold or not, you have to pay 80%, the balances on those lots. Now, the opportunity is there, but to take it all, we need to scale. We need to be able to afford, you know, to put those deposits down, afford to build those houses when you sell them, and still take care of, the people that are doing the work.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, so we're at the point where those opportunities are there, and the only way we can really sustainably take them on is by scaling. So I'm dealing personally with, challenges I've never dealt with before in my life. So we're on a journey of, you know, are we going to sell part of this entity that we have so that we can get the right funding to grow efficiently? We've tried to grow with investors, we get returns, but then you find that that's not really sustainable. You need money to sit and work with,
Mm-hmm.
and then so that means we're looking now at, maybe we have to give up some of this company and just let the money come in that we can use to grow. So it's a very interesting dynamics I've never dealt with before, but that's where we're at in one of our businesses, right? In another business, you think I'm crazy. We set up a childcare facility in October,
Mm-hmm.
right? And everybody that heard of it thought, you gotta be crazy. Right now, who is setting up a childcare facility? You know,
Yeah.
so we have capacity for 93 kids, and we went to the bank, and the banks go, we know you've done this before, but not right now. So go start, and let's just have this COVID thing go past, and then we'll support you. But right now, you got to go on your own. you know. So here we go, myself and my wife go on our own, and here we are. It's not a bed of roses because we're sending the kids to daycare right now, right?
No, well,
When
lockdown.
in Alberta, it says everybody work from home. So we're really taking the kids out. So here we are running with a fixed cost and all this expenses. But again, that's the crazy thing about entrepreneurs, right? We're not looking in the short term. We're looking in the long term. So I'm not surprised that anything has gone on because we kind of prepared for it mentally and in other ways as well. But the point I'm trying to say is that it's a challenge because it's a challenge in the sense that you had to overcome the fears of how long could this grow? I mean, could this last for? We didn't know this was going to be a 3 month thing, or if we were going to turn the corner when we got into it. We still don't know. We only feel like there's light in the end of the tunnel now with all the vaccines that are getting rolled out. But those are the risks that I've had to take on in the last few months, right? And now, right now, on that journey of dealing with the challenges of cash, of supporting the cash flow without the revenue, right, for the business. But the good thing is we get into that position and we say, it's a long-term strategy. And 2 months into it, the government announces and says from next year, daycares are going to be running 24 hours. That's like, thank you.
Yes.
I can take that. But right now, I got to survive till I get there.
Until
Right?
then, right?
Well,
You gotta hold out.
that's the name of the game, right? There's always risk, right? But risk and reward, it's just risk is equal to the amount of reward. The amount of reward you get is equal to the amount of risk you take on, right?
Exactly.
So yeah, somebody went out of it, we got into it, but we're just gonna have to weather the storms, and we'll be well positioned to take advantage of of the opportunity that we took on this year in study. So those are two challenges that I'm actively dealing with.
Right.
I think I have more on the growth path than I do with the actual startups, but I think I just gave an example of one starting and another one on the growth path. So.
Yeah, thank you so much. And it is true, right? You got to weather the storm, right? And as entrepreneurs, we're not looking at now short term. We're looking at the big grandiose vision, right? We're looking 1, 3, 5 years from now. What does that look like? And yes, risk. You got to take risk for the rewards. And you mentioned the thing about fear. And I want to touch on this because I believe this is a really big reason why a lot of people don't go into business who want to start. Again, entrepreneurship is not for everybody. But those who are like sitting on the fence, they have this great idea and they want to start, but they don't move forward out of fear. Fear of failure, fear of the unknown, fear of what other people might think, right? What would you say in terms of that? How did you get over your fear in even leaving? When I left my corporate job, I didn't have any clients. I couldn't physically maintain my corporate job and a full-time mom. And I was doing work in the evenings. I couldn't coach people at night. I knew I had to give to be able to receive. And I remember sitting on my resignation letter for months, like in my desk, okay, God, is today the day, and it was like the nudge, yes, girl, go, go, go. So for me, it took me a while. Of course, I had a strategy in place, people. Don't just say you're leaving today and not know what you're doing or don't have a strategy for success. And sometimes the strategy doesn't work, so you have to reevaluate and go again. But for me, it was a huge part, Io, of getting over the fear of failure. Like for the first 6 months, I was like, what the heck did I do? Like, I just thought when I left, the phone would be ringing, clients would just be pouring. It was not like that, right? And I know for me, it had a big part to do with my marketing strategy. And I was taught marketing by Nenchi, our mayor. And I remember him saying, if you're marketing to everybody, you're marketing to no one. But for some reason, I thought I was the exemption to the rule. So I was just, I want to help everybody. I didn't get super specific. And when I was like, okay, it ain't working, I had to get super specific. So people out there know exactly who you want to serve, why you want to serve, and what is serving going to really do for you? Because entrepreneurship is it's very rewarding, and there's a lot of success that comes as a result, but there are a lot of challenges to it. So going back to that point of before I went on my tangent around fear, what advice would you give to those out there who are thinking on the fence, I want to go all out, I want to go 100% into my business, but I'm afraid? What would you say?
Well, I would say to them, the nature of the game is such that you have to overcome your fears. That's the number one thing. And you have to understand that, you can't afford to wait for everything to be perfect to get out there. you can't afford for all the T's to be crossed and all the I's to be dotted before you step out. Meaning, you can't expect that, you have to have saved up so much and then, that those savings will be, your biggest part of your, comfort. And you think that, when you go out there, I mean, things don't work out, you're going to fall back on your savings. That kind of mentality doesn't really work. You just have to accept that you're taking risk, right? You're taking risk, but of course, take some calculated risk. I couldn't have done this without a gut factor, right? So while this is a circular show, I can't get away from telling anyone that, I had a gut factor in doing this. It was something I prayed about. It wasn't something I could have done without feeling led within my heart to do it. So that's just I can't help somebody who doesn't have the gut factor. I don't know how to say it because I don't know how they could do that, but I did it knowing that I had that gut factor and I have that comfort leading to do it. So that helps me, right? That sustains me, right? When you got the gut factor, even on the journey, you're latching onto God,
Yes.
So I cannot understand how else to say it without saying that, for me, having that comfort, having the gut factor really made a difference in making a decision. And but I also had some really realistic expectations, which when I look back, I think my expectations were very realistic. I wasn't expecting that things would be, rosy right off the bat. But I took stock. I looked at what I had and what I could do differently with what I had. There's a saying that the seed of everything is in itself, and really there's something that you have in your hands that will take you from where you're at, however little it is, to where you need to be. So God never leaves a man at the point where he has nothing at all. I believe that God always leaves you, even your lowest point will be such that, you have something in your hands that can take you to the next level or to the
Yeah.
next point you need to get to, right? So if you really check within, or search your heart, you'll find that thing. It could be your gift. It could be your talents. It could just be some investments you've made before, and you look at it. Like for me, I looked at some of the investments I've made back in the day, and I just thought to myself, okay, well, all right, I'm renting some of these apartments, so we're just gonna put them on Airbnb, in the short term, and that would give me more revenues, and
Yes.
so I did a little bit of that the first few days, first few months of starting out, So I remember the first day I walked out of Shell building after handing over my stuff, I I went straight to the radio station.
Did you?
Oh yeah, I went straight to the radio station to sign up, so that we could be on the radio and advertise, our services. So we did that for 2 years, and we did good on the radio. I got on my marketing game. I got on buses and trains,
Hey,
and and then
awesome. Yes.
yeah, and then I also went into, converting all those rentals we had into Airbnbs, and then I would wash the beddings after each visit myself, and vacuum myself, and I've been doing this at 1 a.m. and
Okay.
asking myself, man, this is not, psychologically you have to encourage yourself. I had no reason to be doing all this,
Yeah.
So I could have just sat back and still get a very good paycheck,
Yeah.
but now I'm like, okay, well, I gotta put some beddings and some towels for the next guest, and I just couldn't find any time to do it during the day because during the day was my premium hours to work and produce and grow the business. So this side gig was the Airbnb thing, which I couldn't afford to paying anybody to claim. So even the $20 a night or $150 per booking was something I wanted to latch onto because I just didn't know how long,
Yeah. To the
how
next
long.
rental, right? Or the next guest comes in, right? And I thought about Airbnb. I just rent. I get a year, a good tenant, good location. Yeah, just rent because less stress, right? If I can minimize my stress, that's key to me. But yeah, good for you on doing that. My sister's like, you should just do Airbnb. I'm like, no, no, no. I like to have like that surety. And I know some people say you could have a bad tenant. Thank God, I've had really good tenants, but yes, whatever you can do to minimize your risk. And when you're starting a business, you have to say, how can I save too, right? To
That's right.
invest in your business because you need capital. So now that you've talked a little about the challenges, tell us a little bit about the successes of being your own boss, of running your companies. What do you love
Okay.
most?
What I love the most is the flexibility, man. It's the flexibility. I mean, it's priceless. I mean, last week I left the office three times at 3 a.m.
Oh my gosh. What do you do
Yeah,
at 3 a.m.?
yeah. Well, yeah. It's end of the year. You got to file the taxes and you know put the books together, and the accountants are asking lots of questions, and so you got to go through and get back. And plus, there's other stuff that you know I just don't get around pretty good during the day. So, but long story short is, I like the fact that I can, you know, I can work as late as I want to work and show up the next morning whenever I want to show up,
Yeah.
right? So I can attend my meetings sometimes on the phone. You know, I join my like this morning. I woke up just 5 minutes before my team's morning huddle, which is 9 a.m. I in my pajamas. I joined the team. Don't tell them. I
Well, they might want you here, so I ain't saying a thing, but you know, no promises.
so I joined the teleconference at 9 o'clock in the morning. And we're on there for 30 minutes in our morning huddles, and you know, I didn't leave the house for another couple of hours. You know, I showed up here at 12 o'clock, and I'm still here. You know, that kind of flexibility is great. You
Mhm.
know, I love it. I enjoy that. I like the fact that we've grown. It gives me a lot of fulfillment. Just the success we've had. You know, starting out from being from next to nothing to having an established brand, in Chestermere. I think today we're number one luxury brand in Chestermere. Our quality is
Congratulations. You hear
impressive.
that, people?
You
Number
know,
one luxury homes in Chestermere, Alberta.
I mean, I'm grateful to God. We're breaking records. We got into Chestermere 2018, and we last year we made the second largest sale ever. You know,
I think your
Chestermere
phone, yeah, no worries.
has seen sales of homes
Mhm.
in the $2 million range last. You know, we
You're
sold one
you
house
can you
last year of $2 million. We broke
Io,
the
can you
record.
repeat that? Just because your phone buzzed, and I think I missed that.
Sorry,
The biggest sale. Just say that one more
that's
time.
right.
The
Can you hear
biggest
me?
sale. Yes, I can.
Okay. So I was just saying that, yeah, so we had the second largest sale ever, second largest sale ever in the history of Chestermere real estate. It was record breaking, you know. But I mean, the point is the quality is what drove that value, right?
Mhm.
And that's the real point I'm trying to make. So just being able to command that value, it was exciting. It was not anything that the developer expected. It was not anything that I was actually told going into the community. You do good if your price point is around $800,000 max, right?
Mhm.
But we've done sales. Our minimum sales have been just under $800,000 a house. But
Yes.
the quality just differentiates us so well. And I'm just so grateful for stuff like that. So those are some of the successes that that I can't share with myself, but I have to show with my team. But I really am proud, happy and excited about stuff like that. See that we're intentional about what we're doing and it's making a difference, right? So like you're saying, we didn't go after the crowd. We couldn't afford to compete with some of the big names there. We were in a community with builders that have been in the business for 30 years. We were in community with builders that have been in the business for 60 years.
Mhm.
The likes of Sterling Homes, and so and here we are just kind of coming in the game and to get everybody's attention and they're going like, who is this?
I know, right? Where do you come
you
from?
know, I can't hear you. What's going on? One second.
Oh, you can't hear me?
No, I can't hear you very good.
Did you mute me?
Oh,
Maybe try turning up your volume.
sorry.
I said maybe try turning up your volume.
Yeah, it's in the max right now.
I can hear you, so you can't hear me at all? Can everybody hear me? Can you hear Io? Can we get could be a Wi-Fi thing?
Better. I can hear you now. I got you back.
Okay,
Awesome.
awesome. So we got some congratulations. I'll keep up the great work in the feed there.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
congratulations. You are in
Thank
there
you.
when you're saying that you have just started literally like a sound is fine. Thanks, Donovan. 2 years ago, and you're breaking records.
Yes,
From you
we
said
are. We
builders that
are.
have been there 30 years, 60 years, but you are doing what they said you couldn't do. And I love that. Do you
That's
hear that,
right.
people? A lot of times people may say, oh, you can't have that, or you can't do that.
That's right.
Eliminate those voices out of your head and
That's
hold to
right.
the vision, right?
That's
Because if you,
right.
I
That's
always say,
right.
if you can envision it, If God gave you the vision, you better believe you can achieve it. But a lot of times while we don't achieve things or move forward, again, fear to failure, fear what people think or whatever, but you gotta go, you gotta move, and you gotta move now. So don't let fear hold you back. So as we're wrapping up, any questions from anybody from aisle, feel free to chime in. I do want to ask you, what would you give in the sense of, general tips, success tips to those who are out there, again, who are entrepreneurs, wanting to build their business, wanting to scale, wanting to grow, or those who are literally just thinking about it, they have the idea. What are some success secrets or some tips you could give to the audience?
Well, I'll say that take it one day at a time. And, we're in a generation that wants to just zip through everything and want success like right there. I think it's real. It's good to keep it behind your mind that it will come, but it's a journey. Success is a journey. Line upon line, precept upon precepts. Just take it one day at a time, and as long as you're making good, progress, each day as in the direction of your vision. I think you should celebrate your successes along the way. Celebrate yourself along the way and encourage yourself. Be encouraged by the seemingly little, elements of success that you experience at every level. And I think as you do that, don't be too hard on yourself. You'll find yourself making little bits of progress, and very soon you'll realize that you've made quite a bit of progress, and very soon you're going to be amazed at how much you've achieved in a short time, in a space of time. So understand that you don't climb a tree from the top.
I haven't seen that.
You know, you don't climb a tree from the top. So you kind of just have to learn to take those baby steps and be grateful for every step of progress you make, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. For those who are really maybe overwhelmed by maybe the similar slow progress at the beginning. I want to say that that's normal. That's not unusual. They say that many businesses fail within the first, couple of years. So if you're 3 years, that's a lot to celebrate. You know, if you're over 2 years, that's a lot to celebrate.
Yeah.
If you're a year into it, well, be grateful and thankful that you haven't fallen off in the first 12 months, and understand that everything you're doing, in this first little while is, there are going to be, elements of trial and error, and that's normal because you're gonna try this marketing effort and might not work out, as you taught, but then you have to try something else. And that's just normal. You have to keep trying and trying until you figure out what works. And then when you find what works, you keep doing it, and so it's very important to understand that these are all normal pieces, elements of the journey, right? Is, the trials and the errors, the similar slow sales, One thing I want us to look at and see from all that's gone on even so far with COVID is that nobody in business gets to a point where they can really, cross their legs and fold their arms and just say that the business is on autopilot. There's nothing like that really.
Yeah.
Like COVID just messed a lot of businesses up this year. You see businesses that have been around for 60 years, that have been around for 100 years, they're going under.
Yeah.
And so if you've made it in the last 12 months and you're still kicking, you have something, right, to be thankful for, really.
Yes.
Because I've come to realize that, experience is great, but I've seen people with way more experience fall to the roadside, and all I see when I see that is that, what, it's great to have all the wisdom, it's great to have all the knowledge, but you know what? Thank God that, you're moving and you're growing, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because there's guys that have gone under, and it's not because they don't have experience, and it's just this whole thing is throwing a wrench in the business, and the experience couldn't deal with it. So important to celebrate yourself. You see the big guys fall, you think, thank God you're small, and your bills are small. You're not falling because of the same kind of bills that have made them fall. So something to be grateful for.
I love that. Gratitude. Gratitude, celebrating the small wins, no matter how far every day, those baby steps I always say amount to much, and staying focused on where you're going, you know. And I always talk about, you know, there are so many challenges. And you talk about trial and error. I've done that too. What's working, stick with that. What's not working, put it to the wayside, you know, and focusing on things that are going to grow and things that you enjoy and that you're good at. And then, outsourcing the things that you're not good at or that you don't want to do. But at the end of the day, let's not give up, people. We know, like, no, you said nobody saw a pandemic. I could have never saw this in my lifetime, to be quite honest. But I think it's so important to think about our mindsets around it, you know. What do we have to be grateful every day, people? There's always something, you know, always. And then I've heard so many stories, people who've had multi-million dollar, billion-dollar business who've gone under and started all over again. There's this one guy in Calgary, and I won't say his name, but I remember when I started out working in corporate, like communications, really young, 10, 15 years ago. And his story was just so compelling. He had a very successful business. And then something happened and it hit the fan. And he ended up being homeless, going to Vancouver, going on drugs. But he had the faith. He believed in God. He knew that even in his situation, that God could restore and create something beautiful. Now, today's business is booming. He's doing amazing. So a lot of they say it's not where you are right now, people. It's not where you've been, but it's where you're going. But if you hold on to the vision and you keep the faith, you'll be amazed by what doors will open. You'll be amazed by what things today might be a day where you're like, oh, MG, I don't know if I can make it tomorrow. And before you know it, something pops up and you're like, praise the Lord. Here we go. We keep working. We're running still. So stay focused, people, on the prize, on the vision, I call it, that big vision, and take those steps and celebrate yourself. I like that you said that. We do need to celebrate ourselves. Each and every day, there's always something to be, you know, celebrating. Like I say, life, you know, and growth and learning from the hard times. And let's hopefully we don't make the same mistakes over and over again. So, do you have a favorite quote as we're wrapping up? It's been such a pleasure having you on the show. I'm gonna ask you to sing us out. I'm gonna have to ask you to sing us out on our way out. But no, I'm just joking. I won't be on the spot again. If you guys just came in, you missed out, but you can watch the replay. A phenomenal song. I didn't know he was a singer and a minister and all the other things that he's doing in our community. Amazing. Do you have a favorite quote or scripture maybe that you rely heavily on?
Rome was not built in a day.
Yeah. So true. I have to remind myself that too. I'm like, girl, one day at a time. Like one day at a time. And now I'm like, okay. One day at a time. One day at a time. All right. So as we're wrapping up, it's been such a pleasure having you. Is there anything you want to leave us with before we say see you later?
Well, I just want to say to everybody that has joined, thank you for joining the show, and hopefully, you've been blessed, and from one or two things that we've discussed here today. I just want to say to you, stay focused on your dreams, stay focused on your vision, and keep taking action in the direction of your vision, and you'll get there. So, okay.
Yeah. Keep taking action. And how do people reach you, Ayo? Like if they want to get their custom home built or whatever work your ministry, join you, where is the best place to get a hold of you? Is it on Instagram?
I are at sweetgenericsomes.ca, I are at platinumheritage.ca,
And Instagram, can we reach you there as well? Are you pretty active here?
Yeah, sweetgenerics_homes, eh? So that's
awesome. Well, Ayo, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm sure Boss Queens, we took a lot from today. Yes, I'm seeing all those comments. Success takes time. Success at the end. Thank you so much, Ayo, for joining us. And we'll stay connected. I'm going to come visit your ministry one day. It might be via Zoom, but I will come in, eventually and get that experience. I can tell it's going to be a warm one. So thank you again. It's been amazing having you.
Thanks for having me. Take care.
You too. Take care. All right.